but I was always a fan of the TV versions of where those characters were taken, the shows that came out of comics, and the films and stuff. I just got a chance to interview, oddly enough, for Spike.com. They had a big Scream Awards, and they hired me to interview people on the red carpet, and Stan Lee came up, and I was like, oh! I mean, he's been on our show. He played this bus driver on the show, and he's talking about the world, and he's got some new project coming up, and when does he not? I mean, he's up. But I said to him, it was just such an honor to be in his presence. He started it all, so you can't help but love that. I just never collected them. But my kids now collect them. I have 3 boys, and they love them, and they love to read them, and I think hopefully our show has encouraged people to get more into comics.
I found out my character started in the graphic
world, and he's got some new project coming up, and when does he not? I mean, he's up. But I said to him, it was just such an honor to be in his presence. He started it all, so you can't help but love that. I just never collected them. But my kids now collect them. I have 3 boys, and they love them, and they love to read them, and I think hopefully our show has encouraged people to get more into comics.
I found out my character started in the graphic novel. I didn't know that till after I got the part, and I don't know if the character was drawn as per my appearance, or they hired me because I looked like the way they drew him. But online, I was very active on the blogs and online and on MySpace and whatnot. People were emailing me like, "Oh my God, this is your character. He did this and this." And this. I had not a clue.
You look like every villain, though.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But not only that, but we get to work with amazing people. I mean, just speaking of Stanley, I mean, Malcolm McDowell, we get to work with him. I mean, it's just kind of insane if you think about, just getting back to the movie idea. I mean, it's like we have the best guest stars on the show, which I am one of. But I am a guest, not one of the best, but I'm a guest star. But,
she said it. It's going to be hell on Tuesday, back on the side.
But we just have amazing. I mean, it's an amazing show.
It's weird. It's also weird when you run into somebody and they're a fan of the show and you didn't know. I mean, that's just, to me. Gary Oldman was another person I got to interview, and he was Gary Oldman, and he was like, "I love you on the show," and I'm like, "What?" I couldn't wrap my head around it. I'm such a huge fan of his, and the fact that he even watches the show, So I love that about what we do. You never know. These people that you admire so much, they watch TV too.
How many of you will be popping up in Volume 4 as well?
We will see.
Have to wait and see. Watch the show.
But a lot of, I mean, most of your favorite core.
I'll be there. Safe to say.
Your least favorite.
Yeah, your least favorite. We gotta balance it out.
Was the black hole you sucked yourself into one way?
I don't know. You never know what air was.
You're gonna come spitting out of shit.
Yeah. Wind up on the beach in Costa Rica.
I only wonder what goes through their minds. I mean, they must wake up in the morning, the writers be like, "My God, I got this great idea," and the show can flip on a dime. I mean, how do they come up with that stuff? It's amazing.
The problem is that we've had some great actors like these guys on the show, and then you want to use them again and you can't because they're off doing. Christopher Eccleston is a great example. That guy is such an incredible actor. We want him back. But his schedule, he works like crazy. Clea Duvall, she worked with me, and we couldn't get her back because she just moves on. I mean, that's one of the fortunate sides of doing our show is it just launches people into other series and other movies and things. So that plays a big part. I'm sure the writers are like, what if we brought this person back? And then they get a call from casting going, not available.
It's funny because some of the fans, like some of the blogs, were like, writing like, "Why'd you kill the German? When's the German going to come back?" And the fans were kind of pissed. Excuse me, were angry. And I think it was Jack. No, he was like,
Jesse or Jack.
He goes, the German was great. We're going to try and find a way to bring him back, but it's hard to recover from a hole in the chest.
Yeah.
Right.
But people have done it.
Yeah.
People have done it. Yeah, it's true.
I don't know where they come up.
Okay, guys, have we got any final questions?
So, did you want a chance to plug your epilepsy charity?
Yes, please. Thank you. I'll plug the band too. I have a band with Hugh Laurie and James Denton and Jesse Spencer and a bunch of. It's called Band from TV, B-A-N-D from TV, and we have a DVD CD combo coming out next week. All the money the band raises goes to charity. It's a perfect model.
How long has the band been together?
What's that?
How long has the band been together?
2 years. And if you go to bandfromtv.org, you can see all about it and all the information on the album. But Amazon.com in the States is releasing it. And they're pushing 2 albums, ours and U2, so it's a big, big push. And then, yeah, it's great. I mean, it's on their gateway to 65 million people and stuff. So I'm hoping that we'll break tons of charity records with this. And then Amazon UK is going to be handling it too. So that, and then my charity is epilepsy. We each have a charity in the band. So Hughes is Save the Children, mine is epilepsy. Our oldest son has epilepsy, and my biggest thing right now is trying to get people to talk about epilepsy, because that's the biggest problem, is the stigma. And seizures are scary, but it shouldn't stop people from giving and trying to find a cure. So I'm launching a website called talkaboutit.org in March, and it's a big, big, big thing. But right now it's not even up. So put that.
That's for 2009.
Yeah. So we'll be launching that, and that's about it. Though, thank you so much for letting me talk.
That's Grand Mal that you sometimes use.
We don't use that term anymore. Grand Mal means the big evil. And that was back
I
when
had Petit Mal as a child.
Good, so you know.
That's the terminology I know.
Yeah. No, those are tonic-clonic seizures and stuff. He had exactly what you had, and then he didn't respond to the first medication. So you outgrew it.
I was on medication for a couple of years and then I grew it again.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, but he's had everything. He's had partial, and general, all these kinds of seizures. He just had brain surgery, and he's doing really, really well. So, knock wood, everything stays the way it is. But I'm happy to see when he sees someone like you, he gets excited. He's like, look how great you look. So anyway, but yeah, he's doing well.
Great, thanks very much. We're going to wrap up the general Q&A now. Thank you very much for coming.
I've had to Penny. She's actually tribute today.
Okay.
She's on contract.
Oh, if you